Hey, I'm Tracy, and welcome to another video from Between CAD Classes. Have you ever downloaded an STL file or got one from a friend and wished you could make some modifications to it? Well, in this video, I'm going to show you how you can modify STL files with Autodesk Inventor. I have downloaded a phone stand from one of my favorite file sharing sites, and I want to make some changes to it. So first, let me go ahead and open up the STL file. So in Inventor, when I go to open, if you don't see your STL file, you want to change your file types down here to, of course, show you STL files. Then I can go ahead and open up this STL file. It brings it in. If you take a look over here at the model tree, I basically have a mesh feature in here. So it's not actually a solid part. But if I want to add some things to it, I can do that. So let's say that I wanted to add some sort of feature. I'm going to sketch on this front surface here, and then I'll just add a rectangle, something simple here, and then finish. And then I'll go to extrude. So when I go to extrude this shape, it has no problem adding material to this shape. But you'll notice in my dialog box here, there is no option to subtract material. So it doesn't recognize the original feature as a solid, so I can't subtract from it. If I go ahead and click OK, I've added my feature and I can export to STL like normal. And now I have an added feature to this part. But what if I wanted to subtract material instead? Let's take a look at how we can do that. I'm going to go ahead and close Inventor and switch to my browser here. All right, so here I am in my web browser, and I have gone to the Autodesk App Store. So the URL for that currently is apps.autodesk.com. Of course, that could always change in the future. If it does, just do a search for the Autodesk App Store. And I'm going to filter to Inventor. So I'll select it. And then what I'm looking for is called the Mesh Enabler. I can do a search for it, or I can scroll down until I see it here. There's my Mesh Enabler. I'm going to go ahead and click on it. Now it is a subscription app, so if you have a license, you should have a subscription, and this goes for educational licenses as well. I'm already logged in. If I was not, I would get a little button here to log in, but here's my Mesh Enabler. I'm going to go ahead and download this. Once it is downloaded, I'll go ahead and click on it to launch it. And then I'll go ahead and install my Mesh Enabler. So this will take a few seconds, and what this is going to allow me to do is basically take that STL mesh and turn it into a solid feature. All right, now it's been installed. I'll go ahead and close, and then I'm going to restart Autodesk Inventor. All right, so now that I'm back in Autodesk Inventor and I've installed the Mesh Enabler, it should be running, but let's go make sure. Here on the Tools tab, I'm going to select Add-ins. Then in the dialog box that pops up, you can see Autodesk Mesh Enabler here, and you can see that it's automatic and loaded. If it wasn't, I can go ahead and double click on it and load it, and you can see here that it's going to load automatically when I start Inventor. Next, I'm going to open up my STL file. So I'll go to Open, and then find my STL file. Just to make sure I'm bringing this in the correct units, I'm going to click the Options button here. And by default, it's bringing it into the template units. My default template is inches. I believe this file is metric, so I am going to change this to millimeters here. And then I'll go ahead and click OK. And then open. So once again, I'm back in this phone case, and now I want to make a modification to it and cut material out. Let's say I want to cut some text in here. I'm going to start a sketch and select the surface here. I'll use my text tool and click to place some text in here. And let's say that I'm going to put in the name of this cool YouTube channel that I like to watch, Between CAD Classes. And I'll go ahead and click OK. Looks like it needs a little bit of help, so I'm going to rotate it. And I'll pick a center point and rotate it there. I'm going to modify my text a little bit here. I'm going to double click on it and let's go bigger. And let's center that as well. Drag this over. Looks like it just barely fits. So I would like to engrave that, cut that into the part. I'm going to go ahead and finish and then extrude. I'll select my text or whatever feature I might have, Once again, I can add material. We could do that anyways, but I actually want to cut into the part. So once again, I don't have that option here. So while I've turned on the mesh enabler, I haven't done anything to actually turn this into a solid part. So I'm going to cancel, and then I'm going to come back over here to my model tree, and then I'm going to expand my phone stand and find that mesh feature. Now that I've found it, I'm going to right click on it and convert to base feature. So basically that mesh enabler turns this option on. You would not see it if you did not install the mesh enabler. So I'll go ahead and convert this to a base feature. I've got to decide, do I want it to come in as a solid or as a surface? And do I want to delete the original mesh? So I'm going to make this a solid, and I'm going to delete the original, and I'll click OK. This might take a few seconds, but I should now have a solid part. And now if I come back to my sketch and extrude it, now you can see my cut option is available. So I'll select the cut option. I'll have it go into the part. Let's say just a couple of millimeters there, and click OK. And you can see that I now have engraved into this part. So once again, pretty much anything I want to do, I can do now. So if I wanted to sketch on this and make some sort of circular cut, you can see now that when I use the extrude tool, now it will allow me to cut through the part. So there you have it. If you want to modify STL files with Autodesk Inventor, all you have to do is go and get the mesh enabler and install it as an add-in. And then when you open up an STL file, find that mesh feature in the model tree, right click on it and convert it into a base feature. That will make it a solid, and then we can add or subtract features to our heart's content. That does it for this video from Between CAD Classes. I hope you found that helpful. I'd love to hear what you're printing. Please drop me a comment below, like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time in the next video from Between CAD Classes.